Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC 292 O'Malley versus Sterling. Ooh, baby boy. We are back. And wow, what a card. Maybe not the greatest card overall, but if you know me, you know none of that shit matters. 11 fights didn't matter, 1 did, and that 1 went exactly how I wanted it to. But I'll talk about that later, because I do want to give this card a little bit of a recap. A part of me did kind of just want to talk about O'Malley, but I'll do this card. I will actually do a recap of this card. I won't do a fight ideas for every fight. I will only do that for Sterling O'Malley. So if you care about my fight ideas for a couple fighters, I usually do a tweet and a IG post around sometime on Sunday, 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. EST. So if you want to see what fight ideas I got for other people on the card besides O'Malley and Sterling, then go check that out. But yeah, besides that, we had a fun card in Boston. Was it underwhelming? Yes, a lot of fights did underperform, especially the main card in general. But overall, we had a pretty good night of fights, and yeah, I'm excited to recap them. I'm not going to do the great. This is going to be a shorter recap, because I just want to enjoy it tonight. But I did want to get a recap out. I think a pretty pure reaction to the main event, at least, is what y'all would want to see. So I'm going to give you that. So enough of me talking about the card like this. Let's talk about the card in a recap form. So, unless I'm going to say something, please like, comment, sub. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, let's recap some fights. We had 12 fights in total in Boston, and we began the night with a fight that went pretty much how most people expected it to. And we begin in the women's flyweight division with Karine Silva versus Maryna Morozov. Pretty much what most people expected. Morozov started off not awful, but I think about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes into the round, Karine cracked Morozov with a left that dropped her, and that's when the tide changed. Karine was beating her up on the feet, beating her on the ground, and then in the last 15 to 10 seconds of the round, Karine locked in a guillotine, and with 1 second left, Maryna Morozov tapped out. So, yeah. And the funny thing about that, one judge actually put in their scorecard because literally 1 second. So, yeah. Great win for Karine Silva, who I'll talk about first. A great win for her. She looked great. In her toughest fight to date, she looked great. She, in a giant step up in competition, and she passed with flying colors. She is really looking like a problem now. Her striking is getting better. Her ground game is fantastic. She's really looking great in the UFC. 3 fights in. 29 years old, hitting her prime, and she's getting closer and closer to those rankings. I really don't see why you wouldn't have her fight someone in the rankings or pretty much outside them next, because she's proven to be legit. 3 wins, 3 dominant wins, not losing a round, because she's never left round 1, and she's never been hurt. I don't think she's ever been taken down even. She's just looked amazing in the UFC. And right now she's shown really little flaws in her game. So, yeah, really great showing for Karine Silva in her UFC career so far. And I'm very excited to see how she does in her next fight, in a step up, of course. So, yeah, very excited to see how she does in her next fight. And then for Maryna Moroz, not very much to say. She was here pretty much to test Karine, and she did. She looked decent early, but after she got cracked, it really seemed like she was thrown off her game, and she lost. No one really expected her to win. Very few people did, but majority thought Karine would win, and she did. Morozov, not really the most talented fighter. Like, maybe at one point, I think she was ranked, but now, 31 years old, she's just, I don't even think fighting is her main focus. I'll talk about that in a second. But also, I just really don't think she, as flyweight gets better, because flyweight has gotten better. Just think about some talents that has come into the division over the last couple years. The Silva girls, Casey, Jasmine, Manon, like, someone like Morozov could thrive before when the division was topped by fucking Caitlin Chukagian, Lauren Murphy, and Jessica Ai. But now that's topped by actually good fighters. She's fallen pretty far down from where she was. And she wasn't even ranked that high anyways. She might have been like 12th or some shit. So, yeah. But yeah, Morozov can still test fighters. I think you definitely give her another UFC fight versus another maybe young fighter or maybe a veteran who needs a fight. And you just go from there. I don't think Marlon was a bad fighter, but I do think one of her main problems is her mind ain't on fighting much anymore. She doesn't fight consistently, and I don't think her mind's on fighting. She has her OnlyFans. I think she did Playboy or some shit, though. She's really not focused on fighting, and once a fighter ain't focused, that's their downfall. Name a fighter who has an OnlyFans and is actually talented. If you say Andrade, she did that for money, so yeah. That's just a giant sign that you're gonna either fall off or your career is just kind of going down the drain. So yeah, and that just also shows your mind is not set on fighting, and that's one of the worst things you can say about a fighter, I think. So yeah, Morozov, we'll probably see her sometime next year. I wouldn't be shocked if early summer, maybe a little before summer, but maybe sometime in the summer we'll see her versus a prospect or some shit, and we'll see how she does. She's still young, 31 years old, so she's not old or anything. So yeah, we'll see how she bounces back. Not really much more to say about this fight. Great performance by Karine Silva. I really do hope to give her a decent step up. And for Morozov, she'll get a step down. Because it would be kind of hard. It'd be kind of fucking stupid to give her someone a step up. Because I don't even know who that would be, to be honest. So, yeah. Not much more to say besides amazing performance by Karine Silva and just showing she's legit. For that, we stay in women's flyweight for another fight with a Silva, and this one looked very good also. As we have Natália Silva versus Andrea Lee. Yeah, this fight is pretty much what I predicted. Lee picked her apart, Silva picked her apart for 15 minutes. And there's nothing more you can say. For 15 minutes, Silva outstriked Lee like it was nothing. And Lee ain't a bad fighter. I'll talk about Andrea Lee first here. Lee ain't a bad fighter, but she just had literally nothing for Silva in this fight. It's crazy how she literally just had nothing for her. She didn't even get close to winning a round. She didn't get close to hurting Silva. She just had nothing for her. The best thing she did was leg kicks early, but that stopped pretty quickly. So, yeah, she just got beat by a better fighter. And yeah, not very much more you can say. Lee's a really good veteran, but this was a very unfavorable matchup for her, and it showed quickly. And yeah, But this is nothing new for Lee. Wins, losses. She'll bounce back, and she'll fight again. I doubt they cut her because she is a good veteran. Give her another fight. She got robbed against the Barber, so give her another fight. See how she does. She'll probably be out the rankings now. So, yeah, really not much more to say. Good veteran, and I hope she does get a step down. She deserves it. She did not need to take this fight. So, yeah. And to talk about her opponent, Natália Silva, 4-0 in the UFC, and she is a legit problem. She looked amazing in her hardest fight to date, and she passed, just like Karine, she passed this test with flying colors like she has in all 4 of her UFC fights. For 15 minutes, she just schooled Andrea Lee, which is kind of crazy that the veteran got schooled by the prospect. But it happened. And Natália Silva just shows why she's a legit problem. If you didn't believe me before, I think it's hard to disagree with me now. I think this is a top 5 level fighter. She's extremely good. Her striking is insane. Her grappling, the little we have seen of it from what I remember, it's not bad. But why use it when your striking is just better than everyone you fight? She's not fought a great striker yet. The best striker she's fought is Victoria Leonardo, Andrea Lee, and she schooled both of them. So, yeah. Blade and Jazz Vicious are wrestlers, so. But yeah, Natália Silva, man. I'm happy she's finally in the rankings. I'm excited to see how she does in the rankings. I really cannot wait to see her in the rankings and see how she does. Many matchups for her. I would love to see how she would do against a Lauren Murphy, fucking someone like that, or Caitlin Chukagian. But then you also got like a Miranda Maverick, who's always on the ranking. You have fucking Casey O'Neill, who just dropped out of a fight and will need a fight soon. You got fucking Amanda Hebos. So you got options, and many good ones. So I'm very interested to see who they do give her. Many options, and let's see which one they go with. So, yeah. Natália Silva, man. Great fighter. Cannot wait to see how she does in her next fight. And fuck, that might be saying she took very low damage in this fight. She could get in there one more time this year, I would not be shocked. So, let's see how she does. But, yeah, very not much more to say about this fight. Natália Silva just schooled Andrea for 15 minutes, and I would be lying if I said that's not what I thought would happen to a T, pretty much. So, yeah. Great win for Natália Silva. Hope she gets a good fight after this. And for Andrea Lee, wipe the dirt off your knees and get back to the drawing board. So, not much more to say. Great performance by Natália Silva. And after that, we go to the last early prelim, which was very okay. Nothing special about it. It had its moments. As we have Andre Petroski versus Gerald Meerschaert. Not gonna say much on this fight. It was pretty much 2 grapplers striking in pretty badly. Round 1, very close filling out process. I gave it to Petroski. Round 2, they did a little more, but really not much until Petroski dropped GM3 late in the round, took that round. And then in round 3, Meerschaert clearly took the round from the fresher fighter and was able to tee off on Petroski, but by then it was a little too late, and Petroski got the split decision. So, yeah. Really good win for Andre Petroski, and GM3 takes another L. Let's talk about Petroski a little bit. 5-0 in the UFC now, and this performance was not terrible, but wasn't great. I did say if this does turn to a striking match, he would be the better striker, and I guess I was kind of right. I really don't know, because both were not good, but neither were so awful that made the other look better. It was just very sloppy striking. So, he did get he did drop him. So maybe you can say that is enough to say he is better, but I don't know. Yeah, we know Petroski's good. He does need to get better striking, but on the ground we know he's great. He did pretty good work on the ground with GM3 when they did hit the mat. And he's a good fighter. He is a good fighter. He does have some holes to fix in the game, but if he can fix them, he could be very interesting. Yeah, not very much to say here. Good win. Get back to, maybe, hopefully we can see him again pretty quickly. He does not fight the most recently, but maybe we can see him one more time this year or really early next year. That'd be pretty cool. And I think after a win like this, he definitely deserves a step up. I know he is calling out Bo Nickel a lot. That's not gonna happen. I wouldn't mind, off the top of my head, someone like an Albert Duraev or a Marc-Andre Barrios would be very interesting. For Petroski, I think either of those fights would be very interesting off the top of my head. So, yeah, I hope he does get a step up here after this win, because this is the best one of his career so far. And, yeah, hopefully he can get another step up. And then for GM3, not much to say. It's GM3. He's gonna win some against shit fighters. He's gonna lose against good fighters. If you ain't used to it by now, then you must be new here. So, not much to say about GM3. He'll fucking probably fight again pretty soon against Young Dude or something along those lines, and we'll see how he does. So, yeah, not much to say. Besides, very okay fight, and good one for Andrea Petroski, and a close one, but not a great one. Not much more to say there. So, that was the early prelims, not bad. Two great performances by two prospects, and an okay fight by Petroski. But now we go into the prelims where it got very interesting, and especially in the first fight, it was very interesting and very good as we begin the prelims with one of the best fights of the year, as we got Brad Katona versus Cody Gibson. What a fight. One of the best tough finales ever. They brawled for 15 minutes. They just went to fucking war, man. And what a fight, man. Amazing, amazing fight. Both guys deserved the contract. Brad, of course, got it. Cody better get one. What a fight. Round 1, Cody was better and did take the round. Round 2, it got closer. You could score either way, I feel. I gave it to Cody. Brad to take it. And in round 3, Brad clearly took it. So, really comes down to round 2, and they gave it to, all three gave it to Brad. Like I said, very fun, I can't do this fight justice. Fight of the night easily, like it got. Definitely go watch this fight if you missed it. It was an amazing fight between two dudes who wanted that contract, and between two dudes who deserve that contract. So, again, hopefully UFC does give Cody a contract, even if it's 2 fights or a fight. Just give him a contract. Let the dude get his chance and see what happens. Because what's the worst that can happen? You have shittier fighters in the fucking bantamweight division, no less. So, give Cody a chance. Give him a contract. He earned it. And for Brad, yeah, he's back. I really don't see him doing well in the division, because let's be honest, if they do give him to the Wolves, who's he gonna fight? How does he really look against a Javid Bashara, Hani Barcelos, Saeed Nurmagomedov, guys like that? He's gonna lose. And then even a guy like Cameron Simon, or fucking Damon Blackshear, he loses. So I'm not really sure who they could give him. Off the top of my head, the fight that came to mind is Cody Garbrandt. I wouldn't mind that. I don't think that's a bad fight. I think that's interesting. Or someone along those lines. I could see them giving Brad Who's in that division? Who's like fucking, fucking Davy Grant or some shit. So, they'll give Brad an interesting first fight back. And I'm very interested to see who they give him. And again, please give Cody Gibson a contract. He earned it. So overall, I can't do this fight justice. Go watch it. It was so good, and respect to both guys. They both earned that contract. Nothing more to say. After that, we head to lightweight for their tough finale between Kurt Holobaugh and Kurt Holobaugh versus Austin Hubbard. In round one, it's pretty much what I predicted. Austin just beat up Kurt on the ground, on the feet. Kurt did have his moments, but overall it was Austin's round. But then round two, Kurt did what Kurt does, and he just said, fuck you, we're gonna fight now. And they went to war, and Kurt came out on top. Kurt dropped Austin against the cage. They did some wrestling. Kurt got an armbar, but then Austin flipped over, and Kurt got a arm triangle and tapped him in some of the cleanest grappling you'll see. And yeah, that's Kurt Holobaugh's win and return to the UFC. Now again, I won't say much about this fight because again, it's too, like, it's kind of silly to bring one of these guys back, but it's not about Kurt. Like, is he gonna do good? No. He's 36 years old at lightweight. Who are you really gonna give him? Are you gonna give him a tough opponent, and so he's gonna lose? Or are you gonna give him a layup? Well, I don't see the point. You're kind of in a rock and a hard place. Like, he caught out Paddy Pimblett, but he destroys Paddy. So, I don't know, they could go either giving him to like a Nazareth Haqparaz or some shit, or they can give him a layup like fucking, I don't know, off the top of my head. Omar Morales or some shit. Someone, I don't know if he's still in the UFC, but someone like that. So, Kurt will have a good fight with a couple guys, but he won't last long in his return. And Austin Hubbard fucking sucks. There's not much to say. So, yeah, very little to say on that. Good for Kurt. Happy dude got his first UFC win and did get the contract. But, yeah, I don't see this going too well for him. At lightweight, no less, it's gonna be rough. So, good luck, but sorry. I have my doubts. Yeah, not much more to say. Congrats to Kurt. After that, we had two middleweight for a fight that was pretty dominant, as we have Gregory Rodrigues versus Denis Tiuliulin. Yeah, man, surprising performance by RoboCop. He took him down and smashed him. There's a little to say. He literally just took him down and smashed him. Took him down, got on top mount. Denis rolled over to his side, and Gregory rained down elbows. Got to finish in a minute 43. Amazing performance by RoboCop Rodrigues, man. Yeah, amazing performance. There's little I could say. He beat up a dude in Denis Tiuliulin that he should easily beat. He did. So, yeah, not very much to say here. Tiuliulin, I don't think is a good fighter, and again, he loses to a guy he should lose to. And then for Gregory, we know this dude's a beast, and he fought smart, and why would you fight stupid against a guy you could easily just beat? So, yeah, smart game plan by Gregory, and it worked. So, good win for RoboCop. Hope to see him back in there maybe one more time this year. You could get him on that JL 10 Curse Blades card if you want. And, yeah, hopefully he gets back in there with someone entertaining, and they have another war. So, yeah, great performance by Gregory Rodrigues. And after that, I'm not gonna say much on this fight because it was sad. In our featured prelim, we have Brad Tavares versus Chris Weidman. Yeah, this was sad. In round 1, Tavares beat the shit out of Weidman. In round 2 and 3, Chris had his moments, but he just is not the same fighter. Like, I'll talk about Weidman pretty much. He needs to retire. He had his moments in this fight, but his legs are so shot, and he blew or tore his something CL in this fight, so he's out again for a while. It's like, Jesus Christ. Even Dana said it, please retire. You don't need to fight anymore. You're gonna be 40 when you come back, if not older. Retire. You're not gonna make a run at middleweight. Like, and even if he does come back for another fight, who do you give him? Are you gonna give him are you gonna give him fucking Jamie Pickett? What's the point? He needs to retire. There's nothing you can say besides he needs to retire. He does not need to take more damage to his legs. He cannot, he's not the same guy. And he had his moments in this fight, but he can never fulfill his progress. He can never continue on the good he did in this fight because his legs are so fucked. He is 40 pretty much. Like, retire. Please, Chris, retire. And that's all we ask. We don't need to see you fight again. We don't really want to see you fight again. Retire, please. And then for Brad Tavares, I got low to say. He won a layup fight for him. This was like the easiest of easy fights for Brad, and he looked fine. He's gonna lose when he fights a good guy, because even like said, Chris had his moments in this fight. When Brad does fight, let's say Gregory Rodrigues, it's gonna go bad for him. So, okay fight, but it was very sad and worrying at times. So please, Chris, retire. So, nothing left to say. Those are the prelims, and to just over the whole prelims overall, it was not terrible. Again, the Silva sisters, they're not sisters, but the Silva girls looked great. Katona and Gibson was amazing. Holobaugh, Robocop was Robocop. And then this was sad. But that's the prelims. To go on to the main card, which actually might have been worse than the prelims, because outside the main event, this was very tough to get through fully. I'm gonna spend not much time on these fights because there's not much to say. Sorry, I did not want to fucking do that. But yeah, let's begin this main card with a fight that was very mid, as we have Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz. In round 1, it was a typical Cheeto round. He didn't do much, but he did a little more than usual and looked okay. I gave the round to Pedro. In round 2, Munoz just dominated, clearly taking the round. And then in round 3, Cheeto woke up and looked decent, but that's the only round I scored for him. But the judges gave him the fight. Unanimous. 2:30-27 is fucking stupid. He did not win round 2. And then the judge that scored 29-28. I get it, but I don't agree with it. Like said live, I think like most people gave Pedro the first 2 rounds. And I do think that's the right scorecard. It was close. It comes down to who you score round 1 for, because again, Cheeto won the 3rd, Munoz won the 2nd. But I don't think the first was that close. But maybe I'm forgetting it. But again, I'm pretty sure it was a lot more one-sided than it seemed, but maybe I'm stupid. I gave Pedro the fight, but it's not robbery in any means. It was just a questionable decision. Again, a 30-27 fucking stupid. But yeah. Cheeto gets the win, and he got his title shot. He's gonna fight O'Malley for the belt probably in December. He didn't take much damage here, so he could probably make December pretty easily. And that's gonna be fun. I'll talk more about that with O'Malley, but all I gotta say for Cheeto is he better be fucking kissing O'Malley's ass, because he's getting a title shot he did not earn in a fight that he really did not win. So I'm excited for it, but yeah, not Cheeto's gonna lose. I'll tell you that right now. If he looks like how he has in his last 2 fights, O'Malley's gonna kick the fuck out of him. But we'll see. And then for Pedro, in a way I'm happy he lost, because fuck him. Dude's an acting little bitch. So, whatever. Good for Cheeto. I'm hyped to see him in O'Malley. After that, we stay at bantamweight for probably the worst fight on the main card, because this shit was just boring. As we have Mario Bautista versus Damon Blackshear. I'm happy these two got the spotlight, but goddamn did they fumble the bag. It was boring as fuck. Round 1 was close, could have went either way. 2 and 3 I gave to Bautista, I think. I kind of just zoned out during this fight. I did score it for Bautista. I know a lot of people gave it to Blackshear. I scored it for Bautista. It was so bad I didn't care though. I do think Bautista was a better fighter here. I do think he won. But God, what a terrible performance. Both guys look terrible. I'll give Damon benefit of the doubt. He fought a week ago. But Bautista, there is no benefit of the doubt, dude. You get a step down. You get you fight the same level fighter, which is sad for Cody Garbrandt. And you look pretty bad. Yes, he did learn about this fight on Tuesday, but come on, man. You've been training for this card. Damon just had a fight and he fucking made you look terrible. Not the performance Bautista needed. He needed a great performance. He looked terrible. He is on a 5-fight winning streak, but now I don't know if he gets that rankings or high-level fight he wants, because, again, this was bad, man. Really bad, and maybe they do give him a good fight, but they might make him fight Cody or some shit, so we'll see. I hope they do give him. Bautista's a very good fighter. He just looked off here. It's weird. He looked really bad. He looked really bad. So, yeah, not a great fight. Definitely one I will not be rewatching ever. And, yeah, I'm happy they got their spotlight, but they really did not do much with it. So, yeah, not much to say. Very unimpressed. Very disappointed. So, yeah. After that, we go into our third fight of the night, which was better, but still kind of disappointing to an extent. As we have Ian Machado Garry versus Neil Magny. Yeah, Garry picked him apart for 3 rounds. Literally no round was any bit close, and when you see a 30-24, you know a fight was not close. I scored 30-26. You could go 30-25. I don't see 30-24, but whatever. Garry just picked him apart on the feet for 15 minutes. The only round that was any bit close was the second, because Magny had a good amount of fence control time, but besides that, he had nothing for Garry. Garry took down his leg early and left Magny a hobbled, beaten fighter. So, yeah, great performance by Ian Garry, but not being able to finish Magny is very disappointing. I do think Gary's a great fighter. I do think he's a very interesting prospect. I do think he's a legit fighter. And I do think he could be a top 10 level talent at welterweight, but I don't think being able to get to that top 5, especially with how he looked here. Let's run. Do you really think he beats Colby Covington? Leon Edwards? Maybe? Even Usman now? He beats Bilal, he beats Luque, he beats Brady, he beats Jack Della Maddalena. I said what I said, but again, do you really think he beats Gilbert? Well, he would never fight Gilbert, but Gilbert, Colby, Leon, right now, no. I really don't. but maybe I'm wrong. His striking is super good. Just he couldn't get to finish here, which it might be like tough, but he has been finished many times. Like in the UFC, in his 10 losses, he's been subbed 5 times and knocked out twice, and those 2 dudes to knock him out are Ponzinibbio and Lorenzo Larkin. I guarantee you Ian Gary's a better striker than both of them. So, yeah. I don't know, disappointed with Gary's performance here. Like, he looked dominant. Again, it was a clear 30-26. But not getting the finish was disappointing. And I'm very excited to see who he does fight next. I guess Wonder Boys turned him down at the fights. So I'm not really sure who he does fight. Luke is always there. Sean Brady. Someone like that's always an option. I really don't know who else he could fight off the top of my head. Unless I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Brady or Luque probably. I can't really think of anyone else. I don't think he's Joff Neal, of course. So yeah, probably Joff Neal, Brady, or Luque. Probably more likely Luque or Brady or Neal. I think here's those fights that make sense. End of the year, maybe on the O'Malley Cheeto card in December. Cause he probably will fight one more time this year. He doesn't want to stay active from what I remember hearing. So it's only fucking, going into September. He's still got a couple more months. He could easily fight November or December, and he probably will. So if he can get a Luque, Brady, or Joff Neal, he'll probably take it. So yeah, Gary, very bright future, but right now an underwhelming performance. So he really needs a good one in his next fight after tonight. After that, let's head to the co-main event of the evening. And wow, domination is a understatement. As we have Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. This is one of the most dominating, this might be the most dominating strawweight title fight defense ever. Weili dominated Lemos bell to bell, 50-44, 50-43. Like, round 1 was a 10-8, and then you could give a 10-8 in the second, third, or fifth. Like, it was just fucking a domination. No round was close, maybe the fourth, and even then you're reaching. Like, Weili dominated Lemos from post to pillar to post, 25 minutes straight. Lemos never. She landed. It was, I think, Weili outstriked her 200 something to like 49 or some shit. So yeah, one of the most dominating performances in a female title fight ever. For 25 minutes, it was just a mauling. And I'll talk about Lemos first. I think, is anyone really shocked by this? Like, I thought Lemos would lose. I didn't think it would be like this. I thought she had a little bit of chance with that power, but my god, she had nothing for her. I think she was mentally beat by the second round. And, like, she has heart, but that didn't get her too far. And I really don't know what she does next. Like, I've heard people say she could move up to flyweight. She could, but at 36 years old, like, I really don't know what she could do. Like, she could stay at fucking, at strawweight and fight a Tabzarichi, someone like that. Or if she did go up to 125, I really don't know who she would fight. Maybe a Lauren Murphy or a Andrea Lee even. Macy Baba, Amanda Hebos. So you got options. I don't know what Lemos could do. Again, she is 36, so she does not have much more time on the clock. She has at being at her best, fuck, she might have another 2 years, and that's being generous, maybe 3 more fights. She's 36, especially at these lighter weight classes, at straw weight. She better fucking do some, she has to, this was probably her only chance. At 36 years old, at strawweight, I don't see her being Glover Teixeira and be able to fucking fight till 44. So, Lemos is talented, but she had nothing for Weili. And then for Weili, what do you say? This was literally just sparring for her, and she is the best female fighter in the world with Amanda Nunes retired. She looked fucking flawless. Like, if a flawless victory, if you googled flawless victory, you would see this. She fucking looked flawless. And now what? I think they're 99.999% chance they're gonna do her and Yan Xiaonan in China. But what I would do is Yan Xiaonan versus Tatiana Suarez ASAP, maybe early October, and then maybe you can get Weili to fight the winner in January, February. They kind of fucked themselves if you really think about it. They would have been in such a better spot if they did Yan versus Weili on this card. They had Tatiana fight Lemos maybe on that Nashville card, and then right now we'd be talking about Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez or Amanda Lemos. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see Weili and Tatiana. That's really what I want to see. I really don't care for her and Yan. I think she's better than Yan in every asset. Striking, grappling, definitely. So, it would be cool to see that in China, but besides that, I think Weili probably just does this again. But Tatiana Suarez? Dude, that's a different animal. And I would love to see that fight. Fuck. That could main event a pay-per-view. Let's say that was the main event of a pay-per-view and the co-main was like fucking Pantoja Royval, or like a big non-title fight. Like, I don't fucking know. Arman Sarukian and Michael Chandler or some shit. Then you sold me. That's a great card, but I don't know. And of course, Weili and Yan in China would be a fight night, so yeah. I don't know. I would love to do Tatiana next, because that's the real fight I want to see. But they're not, so whatever. Weili and Yan will be fun, but Weili's gonna win. So yeah, not very much more to say. Amazing performance by Zhang Weili, and for Lemos, keep your head up, and yeah, keep your head up. And now, for the fight that you've all been waiting for me to talk about. The main event of the evening. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. I told you all for 4-5 years since UFC 248 that this man right here was going to be a UFC champion. Years later, what happens? He is a UFC champion. He KO'd him like I said he would. He did what he did. He KO'd him. He was not I'll start by saying it was not a bad stoppage. Sterling took a lot of shots. He went stiff a couple times. Not a bad stoppage. Second of all, what do you got? What can you fucking say? What are y'all gonna say now? Besides bad stoppage, what can you haters fucking say? Oh, he needs to beat this guy and that guy. He'll do that when he wants. He ducked all these guys. He fucking suck it the fuck up. You were wrong. O'Malley is the best bantamweight in the world. He beat Piotr in a close but good fight, still not a robbery. And he just KO'd Sterling, who y'all have hyped up all week. And I go through my fucking Twitter. If they ain't deleted it yet, all I've had to deal with all week is, no, Sterling, O'Malley has no chance. Sterling's gonna fucking beat him. Man. Everyone counted out Suga. What happened? He shut all of you up like that. Don't count out the Suga Show. When will you learn? Y'all fucking shit on him for that Cheeto fight, which was a fucking fluke. And I'll talk about that rematch in a second. Then, but he doesn't beat anyone good. In his last 2 fights, he's beaten Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Who does he have to beat next? When he beats Moroz, Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Vera, what then? Who does he have to beat? Like, he's even said it, and I agree. You all just move the goalpost back farther, and he'll never be able to hit it, because no matter what he does, he'll never win. He said he could sub Khabib, and then you'll move the goalpost back farther. So that's all you haters do. So what can you do now besides cry and make excuses because you were wrong? And actually, to do something none of you actually expected me to do, I'll say a little bit about Aljamain Sterling. Now that he's lost the belt, I think it's actually time to talk about him in a real light. Is he a bad fighter? No. He can't strike, but you don't want to be on the ground with him. My main problem with him is what you all already know. His title reign has always had that problem. Let's be honest. This is the weakest title win in UFC history. This is the only fight during his reign I feel like you could say, okay, there's really nothing I can say. I called robbery live, but that first round was very close, and yeah, Sterling probably won it. But then you beat a one-armed wash dude who shouldn't have had a title fight. And then this fight was very close. I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it at the end of the year. But I do think Cejudo got robbed right now. He always had that thing with his title. He ruined his title reign at 259, the night he won it, because he won in such a bitch way. If he would have been better off doing this. He would have been better off just getting up, because he was fine. He fucking acted. He would have been fine. He would have been better off getting up, fighting down, getting 50, 45 or whatever, and then going back to drawing board, beating a TJ Dillashaw, a Marlon Vera, a Dominic Cruz or some shit, and maybe 2 wins, getting another title shot against Petr or someone like that, and then winning the belt legitly. Because, again, he's not a bad fighter. You don't want to be on the ground with him. His striking's shit. But, that's that point. And then, if he legitimately won the belt, let's say this was the first Petr fight. Let's say forget this. Let's just say this was the first time he fought Petr for the belt. And let's say he won it. Like he did. Yeah, it was a close fight, but it's more respectable. This still, it should have been Corey Sandhagen, to be honest. But, it was a very weak win because Dillashaw was literally washed, one arm, coming off a loss. And then this, you beat a dude coming off a 3-year layoff, and it was a very close fight that I think he lost. So, like, I even trying to be honest with you, not trying to hate on Sterling, he's not my bantamweight goat. Dominic Cruz. Sterling, if I had to be honest, I might have him top 10. Probably, to be honest. Maybe top 5, and that's being very generous. But he's not 1. He's not 2. Highest, and I mean highest, I would say, is maybe 3. Like, the only other guy, like, Thinking about it, I really have to think. But he's not 1 and he's not 2. So, yeah. Shut the fuck up. So, yeah. And to talk about what Sterling should do next, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think a rematch for O'Malley makes sense for him for 2 reasons. He does not want to make that 35 cut anymore. It's probably not good for him at this age anymore. He doesn't want to do it. He'd be better off moving up to 45 like he wants to do. And I think the perfect fight is right in his hands, being Max Holloway. After Holloway beats Zombies next weekend, what makes more sense than Sterling Holloway? That's a perfect fight for Sterling to move up to 45. So, will he fight O'Malley again? There's a chance. He's not going to do it next. O'Malley's going to fight Marlon Vera. I'll talk about that in a second. But, 100% he should move up to 45 in my opinion. And again, Holloway is right there for taking. That fight makes a bunch of sense. And it would be good. Be a good fight. I think Max beats him. But that'd be a good fight, so. And again, he's aging. The older you get, the worse that weight cut's gonna get. And I think for him at 34, going up to almost halfway to 35, I think this weight cut is probably not good for him, and I think he should move up. So. You can tell he wants to, that's another thing. He wants to move up, so I think he should. And to talk about Sugar a little more, he did it. I told you, and now what? I think it's obvious what's gonna happen next. UFC 296, December. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, 2 for the belt. Nothing else makes sense. This is the biggest fight you could do for Sean. You have to literally fall into their laps. Chito won. O'Malley won. Why not? It's the biggest bantamweight fight you could do. It's the biggest fight you can do for the belt in that weight class. Book it. That will break that will be one of the highest selling pay-per-views of the year. Easily. So, I got really nothing more to say besides, I told you all, welcome to the Sugar era. And yeah, boom, that's the card. Very fun card, kind of. On picks, I went 10 of 12, 5 perfect, 685. I'm not mad about 2 I got wrong. This was biased, and this was a good pick. Could have won a close fight. The bonuses went to Fight of the Night, Cody Gibson, Brad Katona. Performance bonuses, Sean O'Malley and Weili Zhang. I agree with Fight of the Night completely. Performance bonus, you could give one to Kurt Holobaugh. But besides that, I really don't see anyone else. Even giving one to Weili is questionable, but I think he pretty much did what I would do. Like, I'm happy they got 5 tonight, right? I was worried they might fuck over Cody and Katona, but no, they got that right. And again, of course, O'Malley, no question bonus, and then Weili, why not? 50-43, Amanda Lemos in a title fight. Impressive, so. And the last thing, if you missed the card, what would I say rewatch? Both Silvas, they both looked great. Katona and Gibson, for sure, that was great. You could rewatch Holobaugh, that was fun. Rodrigues was fun. It was short, but it was fun. I would skip this. It's just sad. Skip these 2 fights for sure. I guess you could rewatch this. Nothing special about it. You could probably skip this and then definitely watch O'Malley. Though I'd say the Silvas, Katona, Holobaugh, Rodrigues, and O'Malley would be the most I recommend. Yeah, it was an okay card. On paper, it was decent. In execution, it was very okay. Main event heavily saved it. So, yeah, one of the worst pay-per-view main cards of the year. So, but again, O'Malley saved it, so not really much more to say. Unless I'm going to say something, I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll hear from me Friday 1 p.m. EST for a breakdown of UFC Singapore, Holloway versus Zombie. That's a weird card to break down, and it's going to be a weird one to recap. It's at such a weird fucking time, but it'll be fun. And then you'll hear a recap either Sunday 1 p.m. EST or Monday 10 a.m. EST, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, right now not much more to say besides please like, comment, sub. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. Welcome to the Suga Show, everybody.